All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving deep into something that I think a lot of you will find pretty darn useful.
I think you might be right about that. We're going to help you take those, those late night aha moments, those business ideas,
Oh, yeah.
turn them into something real, something tangible.
Okay, love it. So we're talking about turning those aha moments, those sparks of entrepreneurial inspiration into something we can actually, build a business around.
Yeah.
And for today's deep dive, we are dissecting a podcast episode all about launching online businesses.
Right. And this is for everybody. Even if you're not, looking to be the next tech unicorn, these insights, they're really universal for anybody with an idea, a project that gets them fired up.
Yeah, it's about taking that passion and giving it some
Yeah.
legs, giving it like a roadmap, right?
Yeah, exactly. Think of it as your crash course in, is my idea really as good as I think it is? And trust
Yeah.
me, that's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
100%. Because let's be real for a second, we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
That initial excitement of a fresh idea,
Oh, yeah.
but then that little voice creeps in, that little voice of doubt that's like, wait a minute, did anyone actually want this?
And that's where market research comes in. It's like before we invest the time, the energy, sometimes even like our hard-earned cash, we got to see if there's even a market for this thing. It's like taking your business idea for a test drive.
Okay, I'm already loving this analogy, but hold on. Market research, for a lot of people, I feel like that sounds a little intimidating.
Right.
What does that actually mean? What does that look like in the real world?
It's funny you should say that because a lot of people, they overcomplicate it. And really, at its core, market research is just gathering information. It's about understanding, who are we talking to? Who's our audience? Sizing up the competition, seeing what's already out there. And most importantly, is there even a demand for what we're thinking about offering?
Okay, that makes sense. But isn't that something you kind of just do naturally when you have an idea, though? Like, wouldn't I automatically be thinking about who my customers are, what my competitors are
You
doing?
would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Enthusiasm is a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
It can make us a little blind to the details. It's like, you wouldn't bake a cake without first checking if you have all the ingredients, would you?
I mean, unless you're like a really, really good baker who can just like riff in the kitchen, maybe.
But
But
you know what I mean, right? Like, we want to make sure we have the right ingredients for success. And maybe even more importantly, we're not about to accidentally make a fruitcake when everyone's expecting chocolate.
ouch. Okay, that's a painful analogy, and I say that as someone who actually kind of enjoys a good fruitcake. But I see your point.
Right.
I wouldn't want to pour my heart and soul into something that totally misses the mark. So how do we make sure we're baking that right cake, so to speak?
Well, the first step, really understanding the two main flavors of market research. We got primary research and we got secondary research.
Two flavors. Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity. Two
Okay.
flavors.
Yeah.
Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity.
Okay, so imagine this. You're craving, I don't know, like a delicious pasta dish.
Carb lover, I feel you.
So you could be, kind of lazy about it. Just grab a jar of sauce off the shelf, whatever's there, hope for the best. Or
Right, right.
or you could go full gourmet, right? Like hand picking the freshest tomatoes, the highest quality herbs, really crafting a sauce tailored to like your exact taste.
Okay, now you're just making me hungry, but I see where you're going with this. I see it. I see it.
Okay, well that right there, that's the essence of primary research.
Okay.
You're going straight to the source, in this case, your potential customers. You're gathering that fresh firsthand data. We're talking surveys, interviews. You can even do like focus groups, even just, watching how people are using similar products or services. That's all primary research.
Okay, so instead of relying on kind of like prepackaged assumptions,
Yeah.
it's more like I'm whipping up my own insights from scratch.
There you go, yeah.
Okay, I can dig it.
Now, secondary research, that's more like, before you commit to that recipe, you're checking out those online reviews, seeing what other people are saying.
Yes, yes.
You're looking at existing data, maybe industry reports. You can check out your competitors' websites, even just like articles about consumer trends.
Oh, for sure.
Tools like Google Trends, those are your best friend, really showing you what are people actually searching for online.
So it's like, okay, it's like getting that sneak peek into the collective culinary preferences of the internet.
Yeah.
You're seeing what everyone else is gravitating towards.
100%. You're mining those insights from data that's already out there, and that can be incredibly valuable just to understand the market.
Okay, this is making a lot more sense now. But I'm guessing it's not an either-or situation, right? It's not like I have to choose primary research or secondary research. It's more like I need both my homemade sauce and those online reviews if I want to make a truly killer dish.
You got it. You are a natural at this. It's
Yeah.
about using both types of research and really getting that 360 view of your market.
Right.
Primary research that gives you those, laser-focused insights specific to your idea. Secondary research that provides the context, the trends, the competition, the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm officially convinced. Both flavors are going on my market research shopping cart. But let's say I've gathered all this intel. What am I actually looking for? Like, what are those make or break elements that tell me whether my idea actually has legs?
$1 million question. There are 3 core areas that you need to validate. You got your target audience, you got your competitors, and you got market demand.
Okay.
In other words, who are you selling to? Who else is vying for their attention? And is there an actual hunger for what you're serving up?
3 areas. Got it.
Yeah,
And I'm sensing that understanding my target audience, like, that's priority number 1, right?
absolutely.
I mean, no point in selling vegan burgers at a steakhouse.
Exactly. And when we're talking about target audience, we're not just talking about basic demographics.
Right.
We're going deeper.
Yeah.
Their psychographics, their values, their pain points, their aspirations.
Okay, so instead of just saying like, oh, I'm targeting millennials, it's more like I'm targeting millennials who are passionate about, I don't know, sustainable living, who value experiences over material possessions, and who are frustrated with the lack of, I don't know, eco-friendly options in the fashion industry.
Now you're speaking my language. That's what our source material calls creating a customer avatar, right?
Yeah. You're building a profile that's
Wow.
so specific, it's like you're hanging out with your ideal customer.
Yes.
You're getting to know their hopes, their dreams, their biggest pet peeves, everything. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so it's like I'm writing a backstory for my ideal customer, which is way more fun than just ticking boxes on a demographic survey, by the way. But how does this actually help me in the real world?
Because the better you understand your target audience, the better you can tailor your message, your product, your entire brand to really resonate with them on a deeper level.
Oh,
It's about speaking directly to their needs, their desires, showing them that you get them in a way that no one else does.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I've got my target customer all figured out. What's next on the validation checklist?
All right, next up, we're diving into the exciting world of competitive analysis.
Okay.
Now, before you say it, I know competition can feel kind of intimidating, but trust me, it's not about being the biggest or the loudest. It's about being smart. It's about being strategic.
Okay, before we get lost in the battle royale of competitive analysis, remind me again why we shouldn't just ignore the competition and focus on our own awesome idea.
Because in the real world, ignoring the competition, it's like, I don't know, trying to sell sunscreen in the Arctic Circle.
Okay, yeah.
You might have an amazing product, but is there a market for it? That's the question.
Okay, point taken. So how do we turn competitive analysis
Mhm.
from like this thing that stresses us out into something that actually gives us an advantage?
It's all about perspective, right? Instead of looking at competitors as the enemy, think of them more like, I don't know, like insightful guides.
Okay.
They've already walked the path that you're about to take,
Yeah.
and they've left valuable clues along the way.
Clues. I like it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about doing some detective work, basically. What kind of intel, what kind of clues are we looking for here?
Well, first things first, you got to identify who are your top competitors, right? Who's already serving your target audience? What are they doing well? What are they maybe not doing so well? What's their pricing look like? And this is a big one. What are people actually saying about them online?
Oh, yeah. The court of public opinion. Very important.
It's everything. So you're basically creating this detailed scouting report for each competitor, figuring out their game plan so you can come up with an even better one.
Okay. This is starting to feel less like intimidation and more like inspiration.
Yeah.
But how do I actually gather this competitive intel? Do I need to like go full-on secret agent?
Thankfully, no trench coats or night vision goggles are required for this.
Okay, good.
The internet, it's a gold mine, right? Start with their websites, read those customer reviews, see what's happening on their social media.
Yeah.
There's even some cool tools out there like SEMrush. It can analyze a competitor's whole online presence, even show you what keywords they're using.
Whoa. So much intel, so little time. Okay, but let's say I've scoped out the competition. I understand my target audience like inside and out. How do I actually know if there's a market, if there's even room for my brilliant idea? Like, is there a way to gauge that hunger before I go all in?
You are asking all the right questions. And that is where we get into market demand validation. And the good news is there are some really powerful tools and strategies that we can use.
Okay, hit me with those tools and strategies. I'm ready to validate.
All right, remember how we talked about Google Trends for, checking out the competition?
Yeah, yeah.
It's also amazing for gauging demand. Just plug in some keywords related to your idea. You can actually see how often people are searching for those terms.
So, wow.
If you see like a steady upward trend, that's a good sign.
So if I'm seeing a spike in searches for like, I don't know, lavender-infused bath products, it's probably a safe bet that my lavender-themed soap business might be onto something.
Exactly. Look for those signs. Like, are people actively looking for a solution to a problem that your product or service just happens to solve?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what about those times when you think you've found like this totally untapped market, but then you do a little research and turns out it's a ghost town?
It happens. We've all been there, right? And that's why this is so crucial. Right.
Better to find those ghost towns early on before you've invested too much.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the importance of market research. We've broken down those key areas to validate target audience, competitors, market demand. But are there any real-world examples? Did our source material mention any, I don't know, like any success stories?
You know, and one that really stood out to me was this entrepreneur. She was super passionate about like sustainable living. She had this great idea to launch a line of eco-friendly cleaning products.
Okay.
This is like a good plan, right?
Yeah, especially these days, everyone's looking for, for those eco-friendly options.
Exactly. But here's where the market research, it took it to that next level, right?
Right.
She started by, defining her target audience. And it wasn't just people who care about the environment. She got way more specific.
Oh, okay.
She was going after busy moms, specifically, who were overwhelmed with, a million different cleaning products. They wanted simple, they wanted eco-friendly solutions.
Yeah.
Okay, so she found her niche within a niche. I like this already. Keep going. What did she do next?
She jumped headfirst into competitive analysis, and she realized that there were a ton of eco-friendly products out there, but a lot of them were either crazy expensive, hard to find, or they just weren't that convenient.
Right.
And she knew for busy moms, convenience is key.
For sure, for sure.
So she saw this gap, an opportunity to create a brand that was affordable, accessible, and really spoke to the needs of those busy moms.
Okay, so she found her lane, that sweet spot where her passion aligned with a real market need. I love it. What happened next?
Well, of course, she had to validate it all, right?
Right, right.
She went back to Google Trends. She saw this huge spike in searches for non-toxic cleaning products, eco-friendly cleaning for families, even like convenient, sustainable cleaning.
Well,
And to top it all off, she was on all his online parenting forums, and she noticed moms, they were constantly talking about how hard it was to find products that were both safe and effective.
that's amazing. So she literally found like real world evidence to back up her assumptions. This is what it's all about, right?
100%. And the best part, armed with all those insights, she launched her business, and it was a massive success.
Wow, that's incredible. What an inspiration. But let's get practical for a second.
Yep.
What are some, I don't know, like actionable steps our listeners can take today to put this market research wisdom to good use? What are those like small steps that can make a big difference?
I love that question, and it's easier than you might think. First things first, your idea. What are you truly passionate about? What problem are you trying to solve? Once you have that clarity, define your target audience. Who are you talking to? Create that customer avatar, remember. The more detailed, the better.
And it's not just about those basic demographics.
Nope. We're talking values, pain points, aspirations, the whole 9 yards.
Yes. Yes, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
All right, next, dive into the world of competitive analysis. Who are your top rivals? Figure out their strengths, their weaknesses, and look for those gaps, those opportunities where you can really set yourself apart. And don't be afraid to get creative with your research, Talk to people, send out surveys, get inside the minds of your target market.
And don't forget to check the pulse of that market. Google Trends, SEMrush, all those tools are out there. Use them.
Exactly. It's all about connecting the dots. The more information you gather, the clearer everything will become.
This has been amazing. We've gone from feeling overwhelmed by market research to feeling empowered by it. So to everyone listening, remember, next time you're struck with a brilliant business idea, don't just dream it, research it, validate it, and then watch it soar.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.